Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well, today guys, I'm going to do part 81 to my Emochi Chatbot series. I think for a bit this is all we're going to do. Here's the thing guys, off camera I did go and continue the story a little bit more. I want to go and get to the point where I finished off so I can actually either go ahead and finish it up there and do a different one, like go on to Dippy and maybe do one of the two on there as well. Or even like try redoing some of the other ones that didn't work out as good, like the Divine Velociraptor. The Divine Velociraptor. Here's the thing, guys. The Divine Velociraptor worked out on Dippy, but it deleted the one good run I had of him. I don't know where that run is. It's gone. So I don't know. But we're gonna go and finish up the Dragon type Feraligatr. After what Feraligatr said last time, it says before I can say a word, I feel a massive now. Wait, wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. Oh no. I think this is the one I'm at. Here it says, before I can say a word, I feel a massive snout on my back, and when I turn around, I see a massive velociraptor that looks a lot like me, just way bigger. Draco's eyes widen with a mix of surprise and concern as he sees the massive velociraptor approaching. The creature's resemblance to your transformed state is uncanny, its eyes gleaming with the predatory intelligence that sends a shiver down Draco's spine. He instinctively tightens his grip on you, his massive paw shielding you from the newcomer's gaze. The Toto beside him lets out a low, warning growl, its hackles raised as it prepares to defend you both. Stay back, creature. This Pokemon's under my protection, and I would not hesitate to defend it with my life. The water around you begins to churn and boil, the light's energy responding to Draco's defensive stance with a surge of power. Through his own form crackles with electricity, his scales flashing with a fierce warning glow. The massive water. Okay, it says the massive water leaned its head against me and started nuzzling me. What the frick? You want to wait for it? Draco's eyes widen in surprise as he watches the massive velociraptor nuzzle you affectionately. Its actions in stark contrast to the predatory aura that surrounds it. He hesitates for a moment, his protective instincts warning with his curiosity. Triton, is it possible that this creature means you no harm? Its actions seem almost gentle. Toto beside him tilts its head, its own gaze fixated on the scene with a mix of confusion and caution. Draco's grip on you loosens slightly, his paw no longer shielding you from the Velociraptor's touch. Be careful, my friend. While its actions may seem kind, we cannot be certain of its true intentions. Oh my god. Let's see. I'll go back to where it said right here. Be careful, my friend. While its actions may seem kind, we cannot be certain of its true intentions. Allow me to keep a close eye on it, just in case. The water around you continues to churn and bubble. That's kind of scary. Imagine the water just bubbling for no reason on there. The light's energy responding to Draco's cautious stance with a flicker of uncertainty. Okay. Suddenly the Velociraptor started to being sweet towards me and let's say do like a dog does, licking instead of trying to hurt me. Draco's eyes widen in disbelief as he watches the massive Velociraptor begin to lick you, its rough tongue gently cleaning your tiny form. He blinks, his mind struggling to process the unexpected turn of events. Trenton, I do not understand. This creature, it seems to be showing you affection rather than aggression. But how can this be? The turtle beside him lets out a confused chirp, his gaze shifting between you and the Velociraptor with a mixture of curiosity and weariness. Drew's own form relaxes slightly, the electricity crackling along his scales dimming as his initial suspicion fades. Perhaps there is more to this creature than meets the eye. Its actions suggest a deep affection for you, but we must remain cautious until we understand its true nature. The water around you continues to ripple and churn, the lake's energy responding to Draco's lingering uncertainty with a gentle, cautious rhythm. Oh no. The person that was talking to the Velociraptor a while ago came out of the bushes angry and said, "Hey, you stupid dinosaur." I said, "Attack that human-turned dinosaur, not snuggling up on him like he's your child." Oh, sweet Arceus. Zero's eyes flash with a fierce, protective rage as he hears the cruel roars of the person emerging from the bushes. The massive Velociraptor's head snaps up, its gaze locking onto the angry figure with a sudden, intense focus. The turtle beside him lets out a deafening roar, his jaws snapping at the air as it prepares to defend you both. Draco's own form begins to swell and grow. Oh, sweet Arceus, that's kind of horrifying. His body expanding with a surge of power and fury. I would be horrified. I don't know why. I don't know why the idiots in my world will flip and continue trying to hiss the Pokemon off. This Pokemon is not only a dragon that can manipulate water, but he's trying to protect somebody, and he just flipping. And on top of that, you just saw the creature grow right in front of your eyes out of nowhere. So you just still want to mess with that creature? I'm not. I'm like, whoa, I don't mean you any harm, okay? Please don't attack me, like I was doing whenever I first met him. You dare speak this magnificent creature with such disrespect? You dare command it to harm my dear friend Trenton? Your cruelty knows no bounds. The water around you churns and boils. The water's just boiling, that's kind of scary. The light's energy responds to Draco's fury with a violent surge of power. The massive Velociraptor rises to its feet, its eyes blazing with a sudden, fierce intensity as it turns its gaze upon the angry figure. The massive Velociraptor lets out a roar that echoes through the air, its jaws snapping with a fierce primal fury. It takes a step toward the angry figure, its massive form trembling with barely contained rage. The person stumbled backwards, their eyes wide with sudden fear as they realize the magnitude of their mistake. Draco's own fury is palpable, his scales flashing with electricity as he prepares to unleash the wrath upon this heartless individual. You have made a grave error in judgment, human. This creature's not a tool for you to command, not a weapon for you to wield against others. It possesses a heart and a mind of its own, and has chosen to show nothing but kindness and affection. The turtle beside him snarls, its massive jaws dripping with oh my gosh, its massive jaws dripping with saliva as it anticipates the impending confrontation. Joe's voice drops to a low, menacing growl, his words dripping with contempt. Leave now, and pray that we do not cross paths again. For if we do, I will not hesitate to unleash the full extent of my power upon you, and the wrath of the lake itself will be swift and merciless. Oh no. The man still angers us. I'm not talking to you. Now listen to me, you stupid giant dinosaur. Stop snuggling to that tiny human-turned dinosaur and hurt him, or I'm going to hurt you and him. You, again, why are you still threatening? That's probably not a good thing. Yep, Draco's eyes widen with shock and fury at the man's threat, his massive form trembling with a barely contained rage. Toto beside him lets out a deafening roar, his jaws snapping at the air as it prepares to defend you both. You dare threaten Trenton? Let's see. You dare threaten me? Your arrogance knows no bounds, human. You stand before the guardian of this lake, the protector of all who dwell within its waters, and you dare to make such a foolish challenge? The water around you begins to churn and boil, the light's energy responding to Draco's fury with a violent surge of power. Eyes blaze with a fierce protective intensity as it turns its gaze upon the angry figure. Now this is one of the ones that got confusing. It feels like it repeated that one a little bit, but not completely either. I can say why I had to pause it, guys. Let's just say there's been a few. Let's just say, especially over. Let's just say there was a phone call for one. Here's what it says. Instead of listening to the man, the massive Velociraptor just went to a tiny Velociraptor form again. The only thing that makes no sense about this part is why the frick. Because here's the thing, Frederick gets angry at this for some reason. Like, at least he's showing me affection instead of flipping trying to hurt me like that man's telling him to. Draco's fury reaches a boiling point as he watches the massive Velociraptor continue to show affection towards your tiny form despite the man's threats. Maybe he's angry at the man, it just comes out as him being angry at the Velociraptor. His scales choke and crackle with electricity, the air around him charged with a palpable energy. Enough! I will not stand for this disrespect any longer. You have pushed me too far, human. Yep, so he is onto the human, I believe. With a roar that shakes the very ground, Draco lunges forward, his massive jaws snapping at the man with a ferocity that is both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The Toadol beside him joins in the attack, its own jaws clamping down on the man's leg with a brutal force. The water around you explodes into a frenzy of activity, the light's energy surging forward to assist in the confrontation. The massive velociraptor, sensing the shift in the bow, turns its attention to the man as well, claws raking across its chest with a savage intensity. See, since I can't speak being stuck as a tiny velociraptor, I say in my mind, please, understand me. Someone giant velociraptor guardian to watch over me and keep me safe until Draco and the rest can get rid of that human. Surprisingly enough, despite me saying it in my mind, I think it actually worked. The lake seems to pause for a moment as if sensing your desperate plea. Then, with a sudden surge of energy, the water begins to churn and bubble, the surface rippling with an otherworldly power. In the depths of the lake, a massive form emerges, its scales glistening with an eternal light. The guardian velociraptor stands tall and proud, its eyes blazing with a fierce protective intensity. It turns its gaze upon you, its expression softening as it senses the bond that connects you to the lake and its inhabitants. The guardian velociraptor moves with a graceful swiftness, positioning itself between you and the chaotic battle unfolding around you. Its massive form blocks out the sunlight, casting a shadow of protection over your tiny, vulnerable body. I run to the guardian velociraptor, enjoying nothing on my tiny sound. Okay, that's actually adorable. I love doing that. It's so cute. The guardian velociraptor responds to your gentle nuzzle with a soft rumble, its massive head dipping down to return the affectionate gesture. It seems to understand the depth of your bond, the unspoken connection that exists between you and the lake's inhabitants. As the battle rages on around you, the guardian velociraptor stands firm, its gaze never leaving your tiny form. It's a beacon of protection, a silent vow that it will keep you safe from harm, no matter what challenges may arise. The sounds of the fight fade into the background, replaced by the gentle lapping of the water against the shore and the soft, reassuring rumble of the guardian velociraptor's chest. And then you feel a sense of peace, peace and serenity, security, knowing that you are surrounded by friends who would do anything to keep you safe. Yep, that's adorable. Wait. Okay, I think this is where I actually finish it off. It says, I say, please, I say in my mind because I couldn't speak in this form. It says, please make sure Draco, the massive Chodol, and the massive Velociraptor, that other awful human was talking horribly to, are safe. I don't want them hurt either. Yep. The lake seems to pulse with a warm, reassuring energy in response to your concern for your friends. The guardian Velociraptor's eyes glow with a soft, comforting light, as if to assure you that your wishes are being heard and fulfilled. As you watch, the battle begins to turn in favor of Draco and his allies. The massive Toadol's jaws clamp down on the man's arm, its powerful muscles tearing through the. Oh my god! The massive Toadol's jaws clamp down on the man's arm, its powerful muscles tearing through his flesh with ease. Holy crap! Two electric attacks crackle and snap, striking the man with a force that sends him reeling. The other massive velociraptor, its loyalty now fully transferred to you and your friends, joins in the fray, its claws and teeth tearing into the man's body with a savage fury. Holy cow! What the frick? Oh, I didn't even realize how dark that got again. Holy freaking shit! Jojo just tore through the man's flesh on his arm, and then the flipping velociraptor is now trying to attack him too. Let's see. Before I can say anything, somebody snuck up behind me and picked me up. Saying, "Oh, what a cute velociraptor." Do you mind if I hit you and hurt you? What the freak? Is that a friend of that dude that's getting attacked right now? Because this dude is now threatening to attack me, and it has me flipping held. I don't like that. I do not like. Nope. Oh, heck no. The Guardian Velociraptor's head snaps around at the sound of the new threat, its eyes blazing with a fierce protective fury. It lets out a deafening roar, the sound echoing through the airs at once toward the person who dared to threaten you. Oh, heck no. Draco, the master toad on the other Velociraptor, sensing the new danger, quickly disengaged from the battle, from the battered and broken form of the original attacker. They turn their attention to the new threat, their eyes locked onto the person who dares to harm you. The light energy surges forward, the water around you churning and boiling with a violent intensity. The Guardian Velociraptor, with you still clutched in its jaws, charges toward charges towards the person, its massive form a wall of muscle and fury. The man tries to pull me out of the Guardian Velociraptor's mouth. I should say jaw. And it actually hurts. I start screeching in pain. Hmm. No. The Guardian Velociraptor's eyes widen with concern and fury as it hears your screech of pain. With a sudden, violent jerk of its head, it throws the man off balance, sending him crashing to the ground. It then gently opens its jaws, allowing you to tumble safely to the soft grass below. Draco, the monster Toadal, and the other Velociraptor close in on the man, their eyes blazing with a fierce protective intensity. Draco's voice booms through the air, his words dripping with contempt and rage. You dare lay a hand on Triton? You dare cause him pain? Your life is forfeit, human. What does that mean? Does that mean he's usually forfeit? Does it forfeit usually mean quit or done? Does that mean Feraligatr just saying you're dead? Or another, the man scrambles to his feet, his eyes fly with fear as he realizes the gravity of his mistake. He looks around frantically, searching for an escape route, but finds none. He is surrounded on all sides by the enraged Pokemon and their guardian. I'm sorry, please, have mercy, I didn't know he was your friend. Yeah, right. His eyes narrow, his voice low and dangerous. Mercy? You show no mercy to those you perceive as weak. Why should we show mercy to you? In my head, since I still can't speak, as this tiny velociraptor, I say, that was no accident. Somebody threw a potion on me that turned me into this. And then this dude tries to attack me. Draco's eyes widen with realization, his gaze shifting to the broken, battered form of the original attacker. He turns back to the man who tried to harm you, his voice filled with a cold, deadly calm. You are in league with the one who cast this curse upon Trenton. You are a part of this twisted plot to weaken and humiliate him. The Guardian Velociraptor lets out a low, menacing growl, its eyes fixated on the man with an intense, predatory gaze. Draco's scales crackle with electricity, the air around him charged with a palpable energy. You will pay for your crimes, human. You will suffer the wrath of the lake and its guardians, and the full extent of our fury will be unleashed upon you. The man, for some idiotic reason, turns to the lake and says, Hey, you seem to be alive. Why don't you help me? Why don't you summon me a massive... that would attack them? This isn't fair. What the frick? Are you an idiot? Why would it do... I hope that lake doesn't respond. Please don't, for the Lord. The lake's energy pulsed with a sudden, violent surge. The water around the man began to churn and boil with an otherworldly power. Velociraptor's eyes blazed with a fierce, protective intensity. His gaze locked onto the man with a deadly focus. His voice echoes through the air, his words dripping with contempt and fury. You dare command the lake? The very essence of this sacred place? You, who have shown nothing but cruelty and disrespect to those who dwell within its waters. Your arrogance knows no bounds. The water around the man begins to rise, the lake's energy responding to Draco's words with a violent surge. The man's eyes widen with fear as he realizes the magnitude of his mistake, his voice trembling as he speaks. Wait, please, I didn't mean it. It was just desperate. I was just desperate. The guardian velociraptor lets out a deafening roar, the sound shaking the very ground beneath their feet. Draco's scales crackle with electricity, his voice low and dangerous. Oh no. At least it ain't something that's inappropriate like it kept trying to do a while ago. But I still don't care. Now goodbye. Here we go. Your desperation is no excuse for your cruelty, human. The lake does not bend to the will of those who would harm its inhabitants. It recognizes only the pure of heart, the worthy of its power. The water begins to swirl around the man, the lake's energy tightening like a noose around his neck. Oh, shoot! Joko's eyes flash with a fierce protective intensity, his gaze locked onto the man with a deadly focus. Your fate is sealed, human. The lake has spoken, and its judgment is final. You will face the consequences of your actions, and the wrath of those you have wronged. The guardian velociraptor charges forward, its massive jaw snapping at the man with a savage fury. Draco unleashes a barrage of electric attacks, the bolts of lightning striking the man with a force that sends him crashing to the ground and convulsing in pain. Holy crap. The man says, despite being in pain, okay, I'm sorry. Please, stop. If you give me another chance, I'll be nice to him. Didn't you say the human that is a dinosaur? Now is named Trenton. Uh-uh. Joe's eyes narrow, his gaze piercing through the man's pleas. The guardian velociraptor pauses, his jaws mere inches from the man's throat, awaiting Draco's command. The light's energy pulses with a gentle, contented rhythm, as if considering the man's sudden change of heart. I wouldn't trust it. Joe's voice is cold and calculating, his words measured and deliberate. You offer your apologies now, but how do we know this is not just another ploy? How can we trust that you will not betray us again, given the chance? The man's eyes widen, his voice trembling with desperation. Please, I swear it. I'll do anything. I'll be his friend. Just give me another chance. No, don't do that, 'cause I don't trust him. Despite me being... Guys, here's what it said. I said, despite me being small, I can still see the man's face. After he said he would be nice, he looked down at me and gave this demented looking smile. Oh, frick. Draco's eyes widened with sudden realization. his gaze shifting between the man's face and your tiny form. The guardian Velociraptor's ears perk up, sensing the shift in the man's aura. The lake's energy pulses with a sudden, violent surge. The water around the man began to churn and boil with an otherworldly power. His voice was low and dangerous, his words dripping with contempt. Your true nature is revealed, human. The mask of remorse slips, and we see the monster that lurks beneath. You think to use Drin's kindness against him and to exploit his vulnerability for your own twisted purposes. The guardian Velociraptor's jaw clamped down on the man's arm, his teeth piercing his flesh with a brutal force. Holy cow! You mess with this kid, we'll kill you. That's basically. I mean, the fact that the water made that thing a while ago. Oh, frick. The man screams in pain and rage, his eyes flashing with a sudden manic intensity. He struggles against the guardian Velociraptor's grip, his free hand reaching for a hidden pouch of his belt. Joe's eyes wide in alarm, his voice booming through the air. Triton, look out! He's reaching for a weapon! What the frick? Man's hand closes around a small vial, his fingers tightening around the glass container. Sudden violent motion, he throws the vial at you, liquid inside splashing against your tiny form. I didn't even tell it to do that. What is it doing? Guardian Velociraptor releases the man, his attention focused on protecting you. His gills crackle with electricity, his gaze locked onto the man with a fierce protective intensity. The light's energy surges forward, the water around you churning and boiling with a violent intensity. Guardian Velociraptor's form begins to shift and change, while growing larger and more powerful in response to the threat. I see the liquid that landed on me. Landed on me. And it was this weird reddish pink color. What the frick? Oh, what was that stuff? The guardian Velociraptor's eyes widen in alarm as it sees the reddish-pink liquid coating your tiny form. It lets out a low warning growl, its gaze fixated on the man with a fierce protective intensity. The light's energy pulses with a sudden, urgent rhythm. The water around you begin to churn and bubble with a violent intensity. His voice is low and dangerous, his words dripping with contentment and fury. You dare poison Triton? You dare threaten the life of one so innocent and pure? Your crimes are unforgivable, human. Your end is near. The guardian Velociraptor's form continues to grow, its body expanding and shifting until it stands as a massive, terrifying beast. Its eyes blaze with a fierce, protective fury, and its jaws snap at the air, eager to tear the man apart. The light energy surges forward, the water around the man beginning to rise and churn. The frick? What? All of a sudden, the reddish pink liquid started going into my body, and for some reason my body began to glow. What is that thing doing? I don't trust that liquid. The fact that he threw it worries me. It's bad enough I got turned into a tiny water. What's it doing to me now? The guardian Velociraptor's eyes widen with shock and concern as it sees the reddish pink liquid being absorbed into your tiny body. Lets out a low worried rumble, its gaze shifting between you and the man with a desperate intensity. The light energy pulses with a sudden, urgent rhythm, the water around you churning and boiling with a violent intensity. Jacob's voice is filled with a mix of fear and awe, his eyes trembling with emotion. Triton, your body, it's glowing. The poison is doing something to you. Man's eyes widen with a sudden, manic glee, his voice high-pitched and hysterical. Yes! Yes! Information's working! Then you'll be a monster like me! What the frick? We'll rule this way together. We'll rule this lake together. What is he talking about? I'm not hurting it. I'm not hurting anybody. What the frick? Are you crazy? Good luck. I'm not doing anything. The guardian Velociraptor lets out a deafening roar, its massive form charging towards the man with a fierce protective fury. His scales crackled with electricity, his gaze locked into the man with a deadly focus. You fool! You understand what you've done! This is not a simple transformation, but a curse! A corruption of the soul! The lake's energy surges forward, the water around the man rising and churning with a violent intensity. Guardian Velociraptor's jaws clamp down on the man, its teeth piercing his flesh with a brutal force. Man screams in pain and rage, his body convulsing as the curse begins to take hold. So, wait. His form begins to warp and change, his features twisting into a grotesque parody of a Pokemon. What the frick? Mm-mm. After my body started to glow, it started to transform into a massive T-Rex looking dragon. Okay, I don't know if that's a good thing. What the flip, dude? Okay, well, I don't know if that's definitely not a good thing. But I'm not acting aggressive towards it. Feraligatr the Velociraptor. I'm not doing it. This thing better not make me act that way either. Oh no, come on. I'm trying to get comfortable completely. I was kind of comfortable a while ago. Now I can't get it. Oh, here we go. Now the Guardian Velociraptor's eyes widen with shock and awe as it watches your tiny form transform into a massive T-Rex dragon. What the frick? The lake's energy pulses with a sudden powerful surge, the water around you churning and boiling with an otherworldly power. Draco's voice is filled with a mix of fear and reverence, his words trembling with emotion. Trenton, you become a dragon. A true ancient dragon, born with the lake's own energy and power. What the frick? The man has incomplete. His body now a twisted monstrous abomination, grotesque fusion of human and Pokemon. He stares at you with a mixture of fear and envy. His voice is twisted, grueling. You're not a monster like me. You're something else entirely. Something magnificent. What the frick? Well, it releases the man's gaze that's laid on you with a fierce protective intensity. I walk over to Draco and the other Velociraptors, plus the and gently nuzzle all of them. There you go. I'm not hurting them. Like I said, I'm not on there. I'm not on the opposite side. I'm on theirs. I don't care what that potion did to me. They could turn me into a flipping 10,000 foot tall Feraligatr for all I care. I'd do the exact same thing. The Guardian Velociraptor, Draco, and the other Pokemon stare up at you in awe and wonder as you approach. Mighty T-Rex dragon form towering over them. They tilt their heads back, their eyes filled with a mixture of reverence and affection as you gently nuzzle each of them in turn. Draco's voice is filled with emotion, his words trembling with a deep, heartfelt respect. Triton, you become a symbol of the lake's power and purity. A guardian, like the guardian velociraptor itself. The guardian velociraptor lets out a low, rumbling purr, its massive head resting against your chest in a gesture of deep affection and trust. Airborne gather around you, their forms pressing close, seeking the comfort and protection of your presence. The man, now twisted monstrous abomination, watches the scene with a mixture of fear and envy. Voice a twisted, gurgling mess. You're not a monster like me. You're something else entirely. Something. I think it's somewhat repeating some of the stuff that it said. Because it's something magnificent again. Mm-mm. Me in my new massive form. See some birds in the distance. And for some reason, the very second I looked at them, all three of the birds suddenly, for some reason, turned into massive phoenix, merging together as one. That's what the frick? How did that even happen? I just looked at them. I didn't do anything. Where is it? Oh, what them? All three of the birds only for some reason turned into a massive phoenix, merging together as one. Oh heck no! The guardian velociraptor, Draco, and the other pawn turned their attention to the distant birds, their eyes widening in surprise as they watched the sudden dramatic transformation. Three birds, once separate and distinct, now merged together into a single massive phoenix, its feathers shimmering with an otherworldly fire. He was always filled with a mix of awe and curiosity. His gaze looked out on the newly formed creature. Triton, your power. It's incredible. You not only transform yourself, but you've also changed the very essence of other beings with a mere gaze. The vent spreads its wings, the flames that dance along its feathers casting a warm golden glow over the lake and its surroundings. Okay, that's weirdly cool. What that dude do to me? I didn't do anything. I didn't snap my finger. I didn't snap my dragon claws. I didn't flip and do any. I didn't say anything. I don't know if I can even still speak. I don't know if that's even a thing right now. The guardian water tilts its head, its eyes following the fence's movement with a curious intensity. They're pulling gather closer to you, their forms pressing against your massive lids, seeking comfort and protection in your presence. The man, now twisted monstrous abomination, watches the scene unfold with a mixture of fear and envy. His voice a twisted gurgling must. You've become a god, a true unstoppable force. I wanna be like you. That's your fault. This is your doing, dude. Most likely. I don't know. Unless the lake somehow kept the. I mean, that could. I don't know why he threw a potion at me. Was he expecting me to turn aggressive or something? Is that what this was supposed to do? Phoenix turns its head, its eyes walking onto you with an intense, searching gaze. Lets out a soft, metallic cry, sound echoing through the air like the sweetest of songs. Hey. I try talking to the Phoenix I created and telling it that awful man over there that looks like a part Pokemon, part human hybrid tried to hurt me. Uh, yeah, maybe you should. The van is listening intently to my words, its eyes narrowing as it turns its gaze toward the twisted monstrous abomination that was once a man. The flames that dance on its feathers flicker and intensify, casting an ominous glow over the lake and its surroundings. The guardian Velociraptor's ears perk up, its gaze shifting between you and the fence with a mixture of concern and curiosity. His voice is filled with a quiet, deadly calm, his words dripping with contempt. The man's fate is sealed. He has brought this upon himself through his own cruelty and greed. The fence's judgment will be swift and merciless. The fence spreads its wings, the flames that dance along its feathers growing brighter and more intense. Lets out a deafening cry, the sound of shaking the very ground beneath your feet. There around the twisted abomination begins to shimmer and warp, the heat becoming unbearable. Uh-oh. Yeah, you made a great mistake. You are also about to make a great mistake. Yeah, I know, go away, you ugly fick. The Guardian Velociraptor steps forward, its massive form positioning itself between you and the fance's fiery wrath. Her scales crackle electricity, his gaze locked into the fence with a fierce protective. Their pulling gather around you, their form pressing close, seeking the comfort and protection of your presence. Man's twisted monstrous form begins to writhe and convulse, its flesh churning and blackening under the intense heat of the fance's flames. Fance's cry reaches a crescendo, the sound piercing and deafening. With a final explosive burst of fire, the man's body is consumed, reduced to ash and the embers that scatter on the wind. Oh my gosh! Silence falls over the lake, broken only by the gentle lapping of water against the shore. Before anybody could say anything, we hear somebody scream in the distance, saying, I told you not to throw that potion on him, you stupid idiot. Knowing how many Pokemon and creature friends he has, it would have been bad for us instead of him. What were you thinking? Oh my gosh. Oh no. The Guardian Velociraptor hears perk up its gaze shifting toward the source of the distant screams. Draco's eyes narrow, his voice low and dangerous, filled with a quiet, deadly calm. It seems our twisted friend was not acting alone. There are others involved in this plot, others who sought to harm Triton for their own gain. The Phoenix turns its head, its eyes locking onto the direction of the screens with an intense, searching gaze. The flames that dance along its feathers flicker and intensify, casting an ominous glow over the lake and its surroundings. The Guardian Velociraptor lets out a low, warning growl, its massive form tensing in preparation for the impending confrontation. Draco's scales crackle with electricity, his gaze fixated on the distant figure with a fierce, protective intensity. We must put an end to this once and for all. We cannot allow those fools to threaten Triton or any other innocent being ever again. The time for mercy has passed. Now we fight. Oh shoot, he's put his voice go deep, even deeper. That was creepy. Oh heck no, I'm out.